So let's go ahead and explore our protractor here, all right? And there are really only going to be a handful of angles that I'm going to ask you to find. And these are really the big ones: 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, and then 180 degrees. So you can see how a line here would contain every single one of the degrees here from 0 to 180, and how half of that, which we know is a perpendicular bisector here, which we're going to construct, that would be 90 because that's half of 180. And then we have these measurements that are in between. We have 45 degrees, which is in between 0 and 90, and 135, which is in between 90 and 180. And you can notice that each one of these individual segments here is 45 degrees. So let's go ahead and we're going to construct each angle, all right, each construction necessary to pass lines through each one of these marked degree measurements. So we're going to do this using only our compass and straight edge. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to make the necessary things for the necessary marks for a perpendicular bisector. And so I've got these 2 points that are equidistant from what the center of my protractor was, that little pinpoint there. And so long as I'm over halfway, I can get this bisector. All right, and really, since I just want to go from that point anyway, I only need the top one, but because I want to show accuracy, I'm going to go ahead and line it up with the bottom one and hope that it goes straight through that middle point, which it certainly does look like it is. So look at that. Man, look at that. Perfect. All right, cool. So I've got my perpendicular bisector here. This is forming a right angle. All right, cool. So how then am I going to construct the necessary lines to pass through the 45 and the 135? Well, if you recall, we have the construction for an angle bisector. And so we're going to use the angle bisector construction to get our 45 and our 135 degree angles. So here we go. I'm going to try to construct that using just the same circle measurement that I got these 2 points from. All right, so that guy right there. And you know what, for funsies, I'm going to just kind of call this A and B and C, just so I have some kind of reference, because, you know, it's nice to at least have something to refer to. Can you even see that? B, there we go. I don't know even what I drew there. All right, so A, B, and C. All right, and so if I bring my compass over to C, and I stretch my compass all the way over to B, all right, when I go ahead and I make my arcs here, so I got an arc there, and then this one's from B right here. All right, when I go ahead and I draw the line connecting this and this, you just heard my ruler go up to the ground, it goes straight through 135. How about that? All right, let's see if we can get the same thing over on the other side at 45 rather. All right, so again, I will take my compass, I can stretch it from A to B, all right? So long as it's over halfway, the distance between A and B, that's really all that matters here. And I'm going to go ahead and make my compass arc here, and my compass arc here. And let's see if I make it through that 45 degree mark. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So if I've got 45, 90, 135, 180, here's what I want you to do next. We're going to make a whole bunch of arcs that represent each degree measurement. And we're going to use the marks that we already have here to help us with it. I'm going to get real nerdy with it. All right, so we're going to use this distance between here and here, and I want to subdivide it. All right, so let me go ahead and make another perpendicular bisector here so I can divide this guy in half. All right, And really all I care about is where that crosses. So you're going to see why in a second. All right. So that's going to be where I start my 45-degree arc. Cool, so that's my 45-degree arc. Now I'm going to make my 90-degree arc, and since that's double the distance, the 45, I figured that would be appropriate. Cool, so there's my 90-degree arc. And now, because I already know that distance here, let me go ahead, and that should be all equal. And I'm going to make another one from here that does the 135 degrees. And lastly, again, same idea. If I know this distance and I want to get another set, I'll do that. And I've got my 180-degree mark right here. So to finish it off, we're going to do 45, 90, 135, 180. And there you go. Hopefully you can kind of see now how we would go about creating a 135-degree angle or a 45-degree angle. And if we needed to create an angle that was somehow between 135 and 180, we could try to apply the same technique in order to try to subdivide until we got close enough to that angle in order to accomplish what we were trying to get to. So using this angle bisector technique hopefully will give you results in the future. Good luck.